Det bråkar extremhögern i USA också. För Steven Crowder nekade Ben Shapiros kontrakt på $50 miljoner. Ska vi se om han säger någonting om det här. Hej. När han är hos Dim Tool.
That we were hearing about your argument.
Well, it's not anymore, right? They changed it to the phone call. That was the initial narrative, which was a lie. That's a tactic of the left.
Well,
Gaslight.
So let's do the context here.
Yeah.
You put out a video. You mentioned, look at these fees. It's, you know,
I never mentioned money outside of what I believe were immoral penalty fees. I never talked. You've never heard me say, "Hey, not enough money was offered." That's not what it's about.
So when we first were watching the show and we talked about it, I said, "What's the fee? We don't know." And then the Daily Wire's response, of course, was, "We offered this guy $50 million."
Basketball money.
Basketball money. The response then from detractors and most people was, "Holy crap!" And they're imagining Steven Crowder in a big private bank vault diving into a bunch of gold coins. When in reality, the $50 million included the entire budget for your whole staff, your whole production facility, every production you would have done. Meaning, you've got to pay. How many employees do you have?
About 20.
Okej, men då har du problem här. För Daily Wire som vänta, är det bråk mellan Major Tyler Green och Lauren Boebert? Fan vad roligt. Det måste jag kolla upp. Men grejen är att Daily Wire som Ben Shapiro äger omsätter, vad var han sa, $100 miljoner. Så om Steven Crowder inte kan göra sin show på $50 miljoner så är det ju...
5, soon to be 30 something.
Soon to be 30 something. Now if you want to do production on a skit, we're talking maybe 30 to 50K depending on the size of the skit.
Yeah, every time we show up to do a change my mind, it's $50,000.
Millions
in legal each year, millions of dollars in equipment, payroll, millions of dollars in taxes. It's the merging of, what was that?
It's theft.
Yes, I completely agree.
But let me just say,
wheelhouse.
I'm on your side on this one. Everybody can know my bias. The reason that really bothered me is because I run a company. I know how much money we make. And there are people who assume that revenue equals money in your pocket profit. And it's like, no. If they're giving him $50 million, it sounds so wonderful.
They're assuming you're dumb. They're treating the audience like they're dumb. Again,
well, no. A lot of people don't.
But here's
don't
the
understand
thing.
this.
People don't understand because they're assuming that you won't go and do research. Look, $50 million basketball money versus $12 million. If let's say Marvel says, I don't know, the new Thor movie is $200 million. Is that Hemsworth's salary? It's that simple of an analogy.
Yeah.
But the issue here, and I'll let Gerald kind of talk about that more. The issue here is like, I think that these people at Daily Wire, they've said that they're very business savvy. They're running a business. So, are they very business savvy? Are they dumb and don't know that $12.5 million a year for an entire production house is what we're actually looking at? Or are they lying when they say it's basketball money and $50 million salary? I think Candace Owens at one point got up to like 140 or something. On the, I don't
so
really...
you said you wanted $30 million a year or 140
And the
million.
only reason people know that's
det är
not
sådana
true.
sinnessjuka pengar vi pratar om här alltså. Så de sitter och grinar över.
And you've seen the transcript. You ever see me once say, hey, it's about more money? There was never an offer sent after I said, look, it's a non-starter if you don't change these terms, and please tell me that you're not doing this with other people. There was never anything after that where it was, of course the non-starter is, I can't do 5 live reads because we do commercials. I
just want to ask one specific question because a lot of people are bringing this up and they're accusing you guys of only exposing them after they turned down your counter offer. Is that true, or can you add more information to that?
Yeah, I don't know why they're saying the timeline that...
Ska vi se vad det här är om. Had a huge fight in the bathroom. Don't be ugly. It seems that the far-right Republicans do in fact hate each other. So it seems that Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene do in fact hate each other. The second-term House GOP agitators spend much of the first 2 years in the House on the same far-right flank of the Republican caucus. Ja, egenfläkt. Jag fattar inte heller fan det kan... Hur de, alltså, det är sådana sinnessjuka pengar som de sitter och pratar om. De lever ju inte i verkligheten. Sådana här människor. Boebert reportedly told Green don't be ugly before storming out of the bathroom, according to the Daily Beast. After voting against McCarthy for speaker 14 times, Boebert and 5 other colleagues voted present in the 15th and final round, allowing him to achieve the thinnest majority possible of the votes actually cast. är nästan förvånad över att Bobert inte bara sköt henne. Det hade varit mer i hennes stil, känns det ändå som.
That he kind of gave was completely inaccurate.
Yeah, there was never any counter offer from us. What Steven said was basically, look, guys, these are the terms that we have a problem with.
Right.
And if this, I don't care what the contract says dollar-wise. If these terms are in there, that's bad, and you need to start again. This has to be pulled out.
So there was no counter offer, because I'm seeing a lot of you guys say
there was the agent. I think my agent. The first they sent this term sheet. The agent said, "Well, if you're talking about 100% ownership, by the way, in perpetuity, forever, meaning, and it's a 6-year contract with no option to negotiate. They have an option to extend for 2 years. 6 years, locked in at that rate. And again, how do you penalize someone for money that they don't make? They're not going to lose money on you being demonetized. Now, I get that I'm a special situation, but they said this is demanded of everybody. The big con issue is something that I've been running up against, and everyone in this industry knows for many, many years. They just were arrogant enough to out themselves and to put it in writing and to say, we know how to run this business. We figured it out. You don't know what you're talking about. And of course, after that, another last straw was, then going and trying to take our social media director, and I only showed you that email because he's willing for me to show you. Like, we have people poached all the time. When you have your ideas stolen and they put more money behind it, not just mine, when you build someone up and someone else comes in and says, hey, we'll offer you more money, they use them for 6 months and burn them out. I'm sure that's an accident. I'm sure the people at the top of Daily Wire didn't know when they reached out to someone who was not looking for a job, who loudly and proudly advertises himself as social media director for Lite with Crowder. But I could tell you that on that phone call, they said, we have an entire social media department. Right? I said, I have one guy, Gary, and he's awesome. A few days later.
I do want to dedicate more time.
Did Gary join Daily Wire?
Well,
no, they came in and tried to hire him.
I want to dedicate some more time to starting from the beginning of the context of that story. But I wanted to address something before Luke jumped in.
How dare you, Luke?
Yeah, how dare you, Luke?
Go to Florida.
No.
Go to Florida.
I'm sitting here.
That was a good question. I'm not saying I'm I want to put a tack in this. And one of the big things we're hearing is a friend. That you guys were friends, and the recording of the phone call and stuff. And thinking about the contract. 4-year contract with option to renew for 2, locking you in at that rate, 12.5, including the entirety of your staff. And it's just business, and I'm kind of like, I hear that. It's not something friends offer their friends.
No, is it boilerplate? We send this to everybody? Or is it a friend? You know what it costs to have a lawyer mark up a term sheet? It ends up being thousands of dollars, especially when it's like, hey, look, hit select all, delete. None of this makes sense. This isn't for someone who's been demonetized. But the problem, and that's when it came down to, well, you heard in that phone call. I said, take me out of it, right? This is not the right fit period. I knew that. Please tell me that these are not the terms that are demanded. Penalties that you are monetized on YouTube, that you remain on Facebook, that you stay in. Please tell me these are not the terms that are demanded of everybody. And I said, those were the last words. And he said, yeah, maybe I'll take it under advisement. And then you go, okay, all right, this is where we are. There's no hope for the move.
Oh no, nej, det finns krav i kontraktet som ska ge mig $50 miljoner.
If we claim to be fighting big tech and we sell out the people who are paying us to do so and fighting on behalf of big tech, I'm sorry, it is something it's wrong.
Earlier.
Jag tror jag sa det förra streamen i lördags att Anderson Cooper tjänar alltså mindre än vad Steven Crowder skulle tjäna på ett år där. Och då jobbar han på scenen. Ett företag som har en omsättning på runt 2 miljarder. Så jag menar...
In the show, you mentioned that I think you mentioned this in the show that you were in Hollywood, you were doing the standard talent route, and then you just
gick också runt rykten nyligen om att alla som jobbar med Tim Pool typ är fast i hans jävla hus och han inte kan så han har typ som ett content creator house. Man tjänar mest om man är en högergrifter. Ja, absolut. Hej Follestan. Tänker vi bli han ska ju starta upp sitt jävla företag Big Con. Jag tror det finns en sektion i den här ja, det är sektaktigt med i Tim Pools hus. Men han fick väl kontraktförslaget är från Daily Wire. Alltså grejen är Daily Wire, tanken för dem var väl att de skulle köpa bort konkurrensen, antar jag. Så nu hoppas jag bara att Crowders Big Con kraschar totalt. Det vore så himla roligt.
Decided to come out on YouTube as a conservative, and it basically cost you a lot. You lost your manager. I don't, you don't come off to me as a lot of, Candace was on the show and she said he's doing it for money. It's so obvious. Why can't people see it? And I'm thinking about that and I'm like,
do you believe that?
No, I don't.
Well, they're accusing you of counter offering.
But I understand that. But the first thing I thought was, I'm like,
jag vet att Daily Wire tjänar över $100 miljoner om året, men då kan du inte betala. Det går inte ihop ändå. Siffrorna går inte ihop. Om de har tänkt att betala Steven Crowder så mycket pengar som de säger att han gör, som är 12,4 miljoner om året, och att de har en snittinkomst på 100 miljoner om året, då är det en väldigt stor andel som går bara till Steven Crowder av någon anledning. Plus att då ska också folk som Ben Shapiro och de ha löner. Ja, den ägaren är galen. 50 miljoner över 4 år. 50 miljoner över 4 år.
Crowder's already rich. You know what I mean? Like, I understand people are looking at contracts and
Not
money.
really like you'd think. I mean, if they want to do personal tax returns and business tax returns and the charitable givings, we can do that.
This is
we can do that.
Again,
we can do it through a third party and seal them because I get private information. We can do that. Gerald will tell you.
This is again, people like why I care about the subject matter so much.
Yeah.
Running this business and making lots of money. I often say, for a guy like me, who growing up in Chicago and being close to the bottom of the totem pole as an American, which is great for the rest of the world. I mean, for the rest, America's awesome.
Right.
The poorest person is wealthy compared to everybody else.
Right.
But there's a certain point in terms of having things that I could have ever wanted, and it's a.
Men det är det jag menar. Då har vi den frågan också. Då finns det jävligt mycket skuggpengar i Daily Wire också som de inte är offentliga med. Som inte finns med i deras liksom offentliga papper. Och det kommer ju garantera från oljebaroner givetvis. Men det är liksom de liksom blottar sig själva. Vilket jag tycker är ganska roligt. Frågan är hur mycket Ben Shapiro tjänar på ett år. Nej, det är inget konstigt alls. Men liksom Tim Pool tjänar ju också massor miljoner per år, tror jag. Och jag menar, om vi ska ta jämförelse då, så Hassanabi tror jag inte tjänar, är inte ens i närheten av de här summorna.
A very, very low bar.
Right.
You know, I'm making once I got hired by Disney, the Disney Fusion, they're paying me $250K. I'm staring at money I have no idea what to do with.
Right.
Beyond that, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to do everything I can.
But this is the thing. The dialogue shifted to money. You heard me say this is wrong, and then it's money, just a business. And then it's, this is wrong. Money, this is just a business. Look, it's not just a business. And by the way, when you're talking about business, find out what motivates the people you're in business with. I'm not motivated by money. That's not what motivates me. If you look back at the track record in 2009, it was because I wanted to see the system burn, meaning as far as the system that kept conservatives in line. And I mean the liberal system. But then when you realize that it's on your own side, not motivated by money. And by the way, don't leave someone with nothing to lose. You know, the easiest situation is take the money, shut up. Second easiest is go bet on yourselves. You've seen the numbers that we've given you there. And guess what? You make more money, you shut up. The option of say no and say, look, this is wrong, and speak out is significantly harder than any of the other paths.
The two things I want to say is, my point on the money was I view you in a similar way, that you're ideologically driven. That if you have the resources to do what you want to do and you're living comfortably and taking care of your family, beyond that, I don't see you as the kind of guy who's like, I don't have an infinity pool and 3 Ferraris in my garage.
Kolla här. För $12,5 miljoner om året, det här man inte bara ideologiskt driven. Håll käften. Det är klart att Crowder kanske kan driva upp sina egna inkomster med sitt egna företag sen, men
so when they say Crowder is just
What's the infinity pool? Is that the
edge?
it's where the edge goes off
fantastic.
like, and so yeah,
It looks like a
I
horizon.
have no idea.
That sounds nice. I mean, I wouldn't mind.
den där killen också, han är helt störd. Den där, nej, vad är han? Muppen.
3 Ferraris in my garage. So when they say Crowder is just
What's the infinity pool? Is that the
edge?
it's where the edge goes off like, and so yeah,
It looks like a
I have
horizon.
no idea.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind
Into
doing
a
that.
sewer, that's
right, but the question is, if you had the choice between an infinity pool and a young, you know, a talented personality who was going to help change the shape of this country for the better,
Yeah.
I think you're going to choose the change the shape of this country for better. That's my view of you.
100%. I had to tell this guy that it was okay to buy a reasonably priced shotgun.
Yes.
I'm not kidding.
true.
This is not me like stating.
Well, he is Canadian.
We've been
Yeah,
friends.
yeah,
We've been friends for a while. Steven can tell me at any point to go pound sand, right? So I'm not kissing up. It's just like he's like, guys, I want to buy this shotgun. And I'm thinking,
Benelli
like, oh, this
M4.
is- yeah,
Benelli
it's-
M4.
yeah,
It's a good one. I
It's
got
not
one. I got
crazy
one.
though, right?
I got
Do you have the
one,
H2
too.
over?
I have the foldable
Vad bekvämt att alla de här är beväpnade till tänderna.
stock.
Hey, look,
I want, yeah.
Is it basketball money? Crazy expensive? No, it's not, right? And so he
Everyone
has,
deserves.
hold on,
Everyone
hold on.
in America deserves a shotgun.
A Benelli too.
A Benelli.
We went
Nice.
to it. We
It was
went
2.5
to,
We
years
were in
before I
Texas
pulled the trigger.
together, and you were there when I bought it.
yeah, but we were.
En färdig, han är typ en blandning av Don Park och Weird Al.
We were at a
Riktig konspirationsgalningen. Det är därför han har det där jävla ufot vid sin...
shop out here. Luke said, "Hey, you should buy that. It's really great." I buy it, and then he goes, "I want it. I want it
Yeah.
instead."
Was it a Benelli?
And then
Yeah,
I was pissed off because I was like, I didn't think. I was like, I should have bought this. And then he bought it before me.
Okay,
And I'm like,
okay.
wait.
So wait, hold on. This is fun because this is.
We had a
he
whole
was-
argument.
John was. By the way, how many people are watching right now?
150,000 ish.
158.
on our channel. 150.
Holy shit!
So what?
158. Is that a?
158,000.
That's just on your channel. That's why we're still streaming on ours. Right?
I think second highest number we've ever done.
Okay.
Just on our YouTube alone. Did you want to
transfer.
make a
no,
point?
no, it wasn't really a point. It was the Benelli M4, right? So what happened is I really wanted, but they're not cheap. And I was like, you know what? I can't justify buying this. You can go buy it online. And so I was talking with Gerald and Johnny Boy, who you met, my Canadian friend. I said, okay, you know what? If I go into it, because you know they're like unicorns, they sell out right away. I said, if I go into a gun store to pick up something up or something, and it happens to be there, that's
Det där, det är Steven Crowder. Och det här är Tim Pools jävla podcast. Jag vet inte vad hans ufo-galning heter.
God telling me he wants me to have a Benelli M4. And I went to go pick up some transfers from Walther, and lo and behold, I see one there, just came in, and it's the H2O version, the Cerakoted version. And I don't think you were with me, but Johnny Boy was. And I was like, you know, I still don't think I can justify
Weird
it.
Dan
He said, if you
Parkovich.
don't pay for it, I'm going to buy it. And of course I knew that it would be far more expensive for him. So I,
Ja, han ser ut som Zuckerberg fast mycket mer snoppnäsa. Ja, 158 000 är det som tittar på den när det
I bought
sändes.
it, but it took a long time. I'm not really motivated, but it is a nice shotgun, though, I will say.
Yeah, great
Occasionally, there are some things, if you're going to spend money on,
Oh, a tool. Any tool that you want to learn something with, like a guitar too. You want to get
Yeah.
a really good tool.
yeah, or like knives. Like if I have, like, there's a huge steel and knives. Okay, sorry, Tim, I know, we're giving you...
Let's go. I love the Benelli stuff because
Yeah.
I got one.
I wanted to make
but I got to make a point about, you said in 2009 you were like, you realize that the liberal system is you know, holding you
Sjukt
back. or
läskiga
something
ögon.
effective.
Ja,
You've
han är fullständigt psykotisk.
actually realize it's on your side as well.
Yeah.
I look over to Luke because Luke's the guy who's been screaming since 2006. Like, the Republican machine is lying to you all the same. The powers that were being given to the intel agencies and the establishment will be used against you.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well, here's the thing. You're absolutely right. And let's be honest, right? How can you change all that yourself? You're doing the best that you can, right? But there's only so much that you can do. The difference is right now, at this point, an inflection point in history, as it relates to right-wing conservative media,
Riktiga
I can do something. I
klockan
can't
ger
change the
efter
intelligence agency.
laddbänder
But you know what? When I
ögon.
ask Carrie Lake on the show, I say, would you disband the FBI? Yeah, I would.
Alltså det skulle inte förvåna mig ett dugg om han sitter helt jävla mättad där.
Boom, gone, suspended. I can do something about that. I can't change the CIA or the FBI. You're probably more effective with that than I am.
I can't change the CIA or the FBI. Killen med ufot heter Moonlord.
I'm an entertainment guy. I was a guy telling jokes in clubs, having beer bottles thrown at me when I was 17 years old, voicing, you know, a black bear who was the best friend of an aardvark when I was 12, which is clearly derived from hallucinogenic drugs.
I love that show.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I had to do the Kwanzaa rep if ever you want to find something embarrassing for the Christmas episode. And that's when I was 13 years old. And I was like, oh, Kwanzaa. And I was like, let me look into this. I should, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis this. And then I realized, oh, it's bullshit. It's Ron Everett, and he beat them with fire hoses and soldering irons. And then I'm doing this song for Arthur. Hey, come together now. It's
Gud vad ni är tråkiga. De har lämnat den här planeten nu. Och pratar om något annat. Ska kolla om jag hittar när han pratar lite mer om vad hans nya företag är. Big Con. Där är det. Ta och kolla lite på det.
You recorded co-CEO of Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring, on a phone call. He says, I thought we were friends. A lot of people have said, wow, that was a messed up thing to do. It sounds like what you're saying in the context we were just talking, they sent you a business contract that was very bad, that penalized you 110% if all fees are applied, more money than they would actually pay you. And it didn't take into consideration if you made them more money. It didn't take into consideration how much money you made them. It didn't take into consideration if you were banned from Facebook, but Facebook generated no revenue. They still penalized you.
That's part of it.
So here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm thinking. If the question is, and I do have qualms about recording the recording, but we'll get into more detail. They say you were supposed to be friends. Why would you record your friend's phone call? Well, there's an interesting point to be made. Why would your friend send you a very, very bad contract that felt exploitative?
And why would a friend not listen to you when you say
exploitative? Okej, vi vill helst att du inte blir bannad för då men annars får du $12,5 miljoner om året. Exploitative.
Take me off the table, it's not a fit. There was never, just to be clear, there was never another offer that came through after I said, these are the non-starters. The penalties for big tech, right? The owning of people's names, image, likeness, their platforms, are in perpetuity long after they leave. Then we can talk about the money, right? He said they came in low, and I'm sure my gay Cuban hardcore right-wing agent came in high. You find that, but it's like, but there can't be any terms about this. Once I said that can't happen, then these terms, the big tech penalties, that's when talks completely stopped. It was never changed and said, of course, all these. It's like you saw in their first video. We have to make money.
They outright said that fee structure couldn't be changed.
Yeah, there was never another offer after that. I said, look, this is the sticking point. You have to get rid of all of these.
Change it.
And also, you have to. We can't do this. I'd love to sit as from one business owner to another. You don't have to do it this way, right? A good example is, look, and I feel vulgar talking about numbers. Election night. Okay, election night. We had been suspended for having Carrie Lake on. The entire Daily Wire cast on YouTube, less than a quarter of the viewers that we had on Rumble. When we cross streams, their viewership went up 40,000 people. That's proof of product that, hey, look, proof of concept. You can do it off of YouTube. You don't have to. Right. I think you use the platform as long as you can, but you need to start building alternatives. It is fundamental to the business model on the right to not change that.
And I'll just point out that we have about 120,000 more live viewers than we average with you being here. So there's something to be said for
I think
that.
Daily Wire's got some creative, like a lot of opportunity on their website. Because like if all your back catalog was on Daily Wire at no cost to anybody, and they could go into Daily Wire, log in, and then I spend 99 cents on a Crowder video, and then that money gets split between you guys. Like there's a lot of technical
Well, they're already going to be doing over 300,000 Mug Clip subscribers day one, right? Now, the issue here is let's take me out of it. Let's say you're starting your own thing, right? You're trying to come up in this movement. And the terms are being set by people on your side behind the scenes where this is the ball that you have to play. I said to Jimmy, take me out of it. It's not the right fit, which I thought...
Jag blev Pepsi-drickare för att de kostade 5 kronor styck. Jag är en simpel man. Ska se. Ja, alltså egenriktigt så är det ju. Det är nog svårare... Du kan nog inte känna lika mycket på typ streaming i sig. Men däremot om du har liksom tidningar och såna grejer så finns ju pengarna där också. Då finns ju skuggpengar att ta av.
If I don't have a dog in this fight anymore, it won't fall on deaf ears when I say, hey, it's about the next kid. This can't work. We can't have a movement. We can't sell our people out. And that's how I view it. Maybe you don't. They said, this is just a business. These are the terms. But there are alternatives. You don't have to be dependent on YouTube or Facebook. And you certainly shouldn't make it fundamental
verkar extra dum i huvudet.
fighting them. It's
So-
been
so-
going
Ja,
on
det är
for
det.
years.
Here's my
Jag har för mig han har en egen stream också där han sitter och fullständigt psykar ut.
Not just Daily Wire, to be clear. Not just Daily Wire. Pick a name in the movement. Most likely, yes.
Here's my view of it. I think the Daily Wire does important work, good work. Candace Owens' BLM documentary, I think, was good. What is a Woman, I think, was a massive success. That What is a Woman reached people that I know that aren't political, and that's a cultural force. So I think I
också sant
talked
om
with them.
Fredrik. Jag håller med om
We
det.
had a meeting. I sat down with Jeremy, with a few of the other guys, but
Det är liksom, det är därför de inte lever i verkligheten alls. Det är därför som Steven Crowder kan typ neka den här dealen. För han tycker inte det är tillräckligt mycket pengar ändå liksom. Den där låtsaspistolen där bakom.
mostly with Jeremy. Jeremy came on the show. Afterwards, he said, hey, if there's anything you ever need, just let us know. Thanks for having me on. And I was like, I'll hit you up sometime. We talked about doing Nashville week because we wanted to try out our new mobile studio. Then while we're in the process of setting this up, I said, well, let's talk. I mean, is there a way we can maximize the effectiveness of our operations? You guys are way bigger than us.
Of course.
But of course, there could be an opportunity that we don't understand that you do. And so we started talking about a variety of different things.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it came to potential terms. It came to requirements. Of all the business...
Nej, det där är intressant. Alltså, liksom, högerpersoner klarar aldrig av att tolka media överhuvudtaget. Vad är det för tal? Jag vet inte. Det är någon som har skitit ut något. Det ser ut att vara en tavla på en hörnjävel. Det är ett genomgående tema, ja. Det är liksom, det högerpersoner förstår som absolut bäst är ju typ kanske Marvel. Det är kanske på den också. Ja, Tim Pool gör ju musik.
Businesses I've ever negotiated with, the
Inte bra
most
musik.
real, in my opinion, was with Jeremy. It was like I was talking to an actual human being who knew what he meant, who explained the pitfalls, the pros and cons. Look, if we do a deal like this, you're right, it's going to suck because of that reason. That's true. What do you think? And I said, I don't know if that's going to work for us. The joke is, I actually...
Ja, fast Tim Pool står ju på Thanos sida. Det gjorde han i alla fall i diskussionen mot Sam Cedar.
said, what if I want to put up a billboard that says Liz Cheney's a fat pig? And he was like, that's not us. Like, we're not... And I
You
said,
couldn't find one big enough?
Right. But I said, like, I'm not literally going to do that. I feel it is kind of crude saying that point. But the point I'm trying to make is that we're roguish. We want to do weird things.
Yeah.
The ultimate conclusion was, then there's maybe we can't work transactionally together. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, but we'll do other cool stuff.
Sure.
We'll talk with your guys on our shows. We'll have you on. You can come on. This will be really great for everybody. And so my view was like, I agree with you on the contract stuff.
But why did it really fall apart?
Why did
it completely fall apart?
Like the deal with the...
In other words, what you're saying is they were saying you need to be in this box. Because it's not about the billboard. Let's be honest. It's not just about the billboard. If you're
Well, the
saying you didn't
billboard
wanna
was
do
the
billboard.
box. It was like, if I wanted to do something that was aggressive and more shocking, the billboard is that point.
Yeah.
I don't want to put up a billboard calling Liz Cheney a fat pig.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Did they do the thing where they said, we tried to look at outside capital for you for the first time. We couldn't
No.
make it work. They didn't do that? They didn't do that?
I don't want to...
Okej, alltså jag funderar på, är det så smart av de här människorna att sitta och prata så här öppet på en podcast om såna här grejer? Känns som att det kan bli lagliga problem när man håller på så här. Jag bara, oh my god, de förökar sig. Rogish. Köpta oss in i helvete. Ja. Ja, varför ligger den på pistolen?
I don't want to give up too much of the details of the conversation we had. Of
course.
But I basically said, let's just say I made a big ask of the biggest asks. That if what you're saying, it has to be.